Hello, happy August 24th, 2023. Sitting here at Dawswell truck stop here at the chapel. Hope everyone's doing well. I pray God's blessing on your life. I rejoice in your rejoicing and the areas where you feel the need for God's presence, love, and light. I pray that you feel His presence and His comfort in those areas of your life. And I pray that you feel loved by His children, by your fellow brothers and sisters in the Lord. Last video we looked at encouraging one another through faith. This week we are looking at encouraging one another through hope, through our hope. As I said in the first video, the author of the letter of Hebrews wrote to a people who needed encouragement. More specifically, he wrote to first century Jews who had recently placed their faith, hope, and love and trust in Jesus. That's why you notice a lot of talk in Hebrews with the covenants in the Old Testament, the Mosaic covenant, the Abrahamic covenant, and there's a lot of language in there that the first century Jew would have lived by. Under the new covenant, and Jesus said, especially in the letter to the Hebrews, Jesus fulfilled the law and also established a new covenant, and He is our high priest, as the letter of Hebrews says. So He came and fulfilled the law and the prophets, and as the letter of Hebrews often states, He established a new covenant, or really just completed and carried on the covenant made, the promises made to Abraham, especially where it says all peoples on earth will be blessed. And you find that in Genesis 12 verses 1 through 3, God's promise and covenant with Abraham. So the second attribute, the second item of encouragement is our faith. We find in Hebrews 6:19 through 20, we have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. It enters the inner sanctuary behind the curtain, where our forerunner, Jesus, has entered on our behalf. So in the Old Testament, the high priest or the priest would go in and for the children of Israel, for the Jews, and he would offer sacrifices for his own sin, and then he would offer sacrifices on the altar for the sins of the people. So this would have been language, and this would have been the practice of the early Jews. So that's where some of that language is coming from, with the inner sanctuary behind the curtain. The author of Hebrews defines what is the hope, and the hope is Jesus Christ acting on our behalf as the high priest. The author continues in chapter 7 verses 21 to 27. But He, Jesus, became a priest with an oath when God said to Him, "The Lord has sworn and will not change His mind. You are a priest forever." Because of this oath, Jesus has become the guarantor of a better covenant. Because Jesus lives forever, He has a permanent priesthood. Therefore, He is able to save completely those who come to God through Him, because He always lives to intercede for them. Jesus intercedes for them. Such a high priest truly meets our needs. One who is holy, blameless, pure, set apart from sinners, exalted above the heavens. Unlike the other high priests, He does not need to offer sacrifices day after day for His own sins and then for the sins of the people. It's very important here, this next line. It says that He, Jesus, sacrificed for their sins once for all when he offered himself. And we know that's offered himself on the cross, where he bore our sin and our shame. Just to highlight one more time, Hebrews 6:19, it says, we have this hope as an anchor for the soul. Jesus is our hope. With him and this hope, it anchors our soul. Have you ever been around someone who exhibits hope powerfully? I've been fortunate to be around and live around people of such character in the military, in sports, in church, just people full of hope. And they can't help but to, elevate the morale or spur hope into others. So the letter of Hebrews defines what our hope is placed in, but I just want to define hope as per the Evangelical Dictionary by Walter A. Ewell and Dallas Willard, one of my favorite theologians. They say that hope is the anticipation of good. Hope is the anticipation of good. And I looked up just a Google search on the Webster Online Dictionary. It says to cherish a desire with anticipation. Hope is to cherish a desire with anticipation. Thank God for Jesus, who's sitting at the Father's right hand in heaven and making intercession for us 24/7. He's there. He has the ear of the Father, and he is interceding for you and I. His one and for all sacrifice for our sins. He has restored our relationship with the Father, and he made us righteous by taking on all of our unrighteousness. He became sin, as it says, I believe in 2 Corinthians 5:21. He became sin so that we might become the righteousness of God. What a hope. Jesus, our hope, the anchor of our soul. I pray this blesses you. Again, thanks for watching, and you all have a great day.